Your Particle.io device has the ability to publish events to the internet, which other web apps and other devices can subscribe to. Publishing an event is a lot like making an announcement. So when your device makes an announcement, other websites can listen for this announcement by subscribing to the specific announcement and then respond to them. So the best way to view the different announcements that happen is using a tool called the dashboard. If you go to dashboard.particle.io and log in there, you'll see your device. And in addition to that, we have this thing that says logs. And this is the web app that actually listens for different events that are being generated by all your devices. So for example, when I plug in my Spark Photon, or sorry, my Particle Photon, the device comes online. And then you'll notice that an event name was published that says device came online. Now, to publish a custom event, let's go ahead and take a look at the CodeTak Robotics library inside of the Build IDE. The third example is one that says publish.ino, and we'll go ahead and use that example because it's already working. So when I hit flash, you'll also notice that another event is generated, and that is the flashing event. So it says that a flash was started and it was successful. The device reboots now and it's going to come online. And then you'll also notice that another event here was generated that says hello. Now, where did that event come from? Well, if we look back in the Build IDE, in the setup method, you'll notice that there is an event being published here that says particle.publish hello, and that's where the event is being generated. I can continue to generate other events. Like let's say I wanted to turn my robot into a motion sensor. Right now, my motion sensor is going to be heat-based because I have my thermopile sensor attached to it. And I'm going to go ahead and just try out what happens when I want it to publish an event called motion. Now, I'm going to make one other important change before I flash it. This delay I'm going to set to 5 seconds. And the reason why is because events are what are called rate limited. Rate limited basically means that the Particle.io cloud platform is going to prevent you from publishing more than 60 events in any 120-second period. It doesn't mean one event every 2 seconds. It means that you could, in theory, publish all 60 events in the first 10 seconds, and all of a sudden, for the next 110 seconds after that, it'll prevent you from publishing those events successfully, and we don't want that. So in our loop, we're going to put a limit on how often this thing is going to trigger. So I'm going to go ahead and flash it now and go back to the dashboard to see what happens. You'll notice the flash started, the device is rebooting, it came online and said hello, and now it's generating a new motion event every 5 seconds. So that's great, but it's not particularly useful to us because we only want it to publish a motion event if something happens, specifically if we're sensing heat. So here I'm going to change my code. Now before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and pause my logs. And in the Build IDE, I'm going to take this particle.publish motion statement and wrap it inside of what we call an if condition. Your robot, using if statements, can make a decision based off of the sensor data. In this case, the temperature is being read from a thermopile sensor, and we want to say if the temperature is greater than 25 degrees, only then will we publish motion. So inside of the curly braces is the code that we want to run when this condition is true. If this condition is not true, then nothing is going to happen. And it's going to make that decision every 5 seconds because of our delay. So I'll go ahead and refresh this page now to get a clean log. And now inside of the Build IDE, I can go ahead and flash it. And those are some of my old motion events. here's my hello event, and you'll notice that after the device came online and said hello, I might see some other events being generated here and there, like these app hashes, but no motion event is happening right now because it hasn't sensed any heat. So now I'm going to take my hand, warm it up, and hover it over the motion sensor, and let's see if we can get this thing to detect. And you'll notice that after 5 seconds elapses, it basically detects the heat from my hand, and now it's sensing motion because it sees that the temperature being read by the infrared thermopile is now greater than 25 degrees. If I take my hand away, then you'll notice the event stop because it is no longer detecting any heat coming from my hand.